Hi, my name is Karen Riddell, and I am going to demonstrate how to make some bread. This is a simple recipe that has 7 ingredients. They are 2.5 cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons of yeast, 1 stick of butter melted, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 cup of honey, 1 egg, and 7 cups of flour. I need to get my egg. 1 second. Egg. So I have my ingredients in front of me. I will start with the warm milk and pour it into a large mixing bowl. To my warm milk, I will add the melted butter, and this is 1 stick of butter melted. It takes about 30 seconds in the microwave, and you just want to add that to the milk. And once you've added your butter, the next thing you're going to add is the honey. And I was gonna just pour this in. This is about 1/2 cup, but I should measure, so we are going to, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So 1/4 cup of honey, and if you put oil in your measuring cup before you put the honey in, it will help the honey slide out. Maybe I was wrong. This might be a whole 1/4 cup of honey, or maybe a little short. It'll be fine for the recipe. So it's about 1/4 of a cup, and I'm going to add that into the milk and the butter. I'll try to get the rest of this honey out. And once I get this out of this, I will use a whisk to mix the ingredients. I'm using instant yeast, but if you were to use regular yeast in this mixture, you would put the yeast in and let this mixture stand for 10 minutes to make sure that the yeast is active. But since I'm using instant, you can just mix the instant into the dry ingredients without the extra step of proofing your yeast. Come on, a little bit out, a little bit more. Okay, so most of that came out. I did have some oil in there. And here's my whisk. I'm just going to whisk those things together, and I have 1 egg that I'm going to add to this. Here's my egg, and you always want to crack your egg into another dish, because sometimes eggs, there may be something wrong with the egg that you don't want to use in your recipe. So you put it into another dish before you add it. And you just want to mix all those ingredients together, get that egg crusted up. And once I get these ingredients mixed together, I will put the dry ingredients in. I'm going to add the flour 1 cup at a time until I get it all mixed in. So here is my mixture. This is all whisked together. And my dry ingredients are here. This is my 7 cups of flour already measured out. And this is the instant yeast that I use. And it's tablespoon. 2 tablespoons of instant yeast into the flour. I already added my yeast into my flour. And then you want to add 2 teaspoons of salt into your dry ingredients. So the different teaspoon, tablespoon. And I'm just going to mix those together with my hand. Get the salt and the yeast mix all together in here. And now that I have that together, I'm going to add it into this wet ingredients. And I'm using a whisk. I like to use a whisk to mix it in. And I'm just going to take the flour and pour it into the bowl, 1 cup at a time. So I add it 1 cup at a time and mix it as I go. Kind of mix that together before adding more flour. But that's it. You just mix your flour into the wet ingredients. And so I like